Hi everybody, this is Silva from Poinivore, and today we are going to see how to implement the Facebook SDK into Unity. So basically we are going to see how to do something simple like this, login button, how to log in, and then when a user has logged in, how to access his profile picture, his first name to greet him, button to share stories related to the app, and an invite button to invite your friend to play the game as well. Scroll list is populated with all the friends that are also playing the game, each time with their profile picture and their full name on the side, and a logout button.
So let's begin by creating a new Unity project. We're going to call it social test. For example, it's going to be a 2D Unity project. And then we create it. So in the settings, we're going to begin by importing the Facebook SDK. We import everything, and then I'm just going to delete all the examples. You can go through them if you're interested, but we won't use them today. And then in the build settings, we're going to switch platform, either Android or iOS, whatever you prefer. We're going to do Android because it's slightly more difficult to set up with Facebook. Nothing too complicated, but there are more steps to follow. And then in the player settings, so in Android, you need to put an API level of 15 or more, and you need for either Android or iOS, you need to put a bundle identifier. So we're going to do just that. com.whenever.social tests, and we're all set for now. On the Facebook side, on the developer Facebook portal, we are going to add a new app. You can either click iOS or Android. We are not going to follow the quick start guide of Facebook, so it doesn't really matter. Up. Oh. We just have to choose a category, so we're going to say entertainment, and create the app ID. And then I'm just going to skip the quick start to go directly into the dashboard of our newly created app. So the main thing we are going to need is the app ID that is found just right here. I'm going to copy it, and we will have to paste it in the Facebook menu. You click on Edit Settings, and then there are some fields to fill. So the app ID field, and then the app name. So we're just gonna write another time our social test name. And then if you are on iOS, it's pretty easy. You go in the settings of your app, you add the platform iOS, and then you just have to type the bundle identifier that you created before. And then when you have your App Store ID, you just have to copy it here. On Android, it's slightly more difficult. You still have to type the Google package name, but you also have to give a class name and a key hash. But fortunately, it's very well done. You have all of this information right here in the Facebook edit setting menu. So you can just copy them and paste them here on the Facebook page. And we are done with that. So that's it for the setup. If you set it up for Android, you're gonna have a warning because your app isn't published yet. It's not a problem. You will be able to test it without any issue. We're gonna just take a look. So you can fill your app details on this page. App review is if you need to ask Facebook for some permissions. We won't go through that today because we are going to use the default permission. We are just going to use the user friends permission for today. Because if you want to do some things on Facebook, like posting in the posting on the wall of someone without his consent, or if you want to publish photos, or you will gonna need a special permission, like the publish permission. We are just gonna use the user friends permission today, so we won't need to go through that. So that's it for the setup, and we're good to begin to create our little test app. So what I'm gonna do is, for now, I'm just gonna create a UI button. I'm gonna dezoom to see the UI interface up. We're gonna put the button roughly in the center, and it's gonna be a login button. Like that. I'm gonna rename it login button for your original, and then we're gonna change the text of the button, and I'm gonna rename this canvas like not logged in UI, and we're gonna do a different UI when you're logged in. So this button, the goal is to, when you click on the button, log in on Facebook. We're gonna create the script. I'm gonna call it something like test. Oh, perhaps not here. I'm gonna go back in the asset folder, create the script where all the functions are gonna be, and we're gonna call it test. Before I forget, we're gonna attach it to the main camera so that it's automatically executed. In terms of libraries, we are gonna need the Facebook library. So this is using we put using Facebook.unity. With the Facebook API, there are a lot of lists and dictionaries. So we are gonna need the system.collections.generic library, and for the UI, I'm gonna need to add the Unity engine.ui libraries. We're not going to use the start and the update function. To begin with, we will need to initialize the Facebook SDK, so we're going to do that in the awake function. And just to be sure, we are going to check if Facebook is not already initialized. So this is done with the command fb.initialized, which is a boolean. And if Facebook is not already initialized, we are gonna initialize it with this command fb.init. And that's it. You don't need to do anything else. But if you want to be warned as to when Facebook has finished to do everything it needed to be initialized, you can just put a callback here. I'm gonna call it init callback, and then we can write this function init callback. And for now, we're just gonna put a debug .log just to see Facebook has been initialized on the debug console. So we're good, and then we're gonna create the login function, which is going to be executed when you click on the login button. And to log in on Facebook, we are going to check if Facebook is not already logged in. So this is done with the boolean fb.isLoggedIn. And if Facebook isn't already logged in, if some user isn't already logged in, we're going to ask a login. So you have two type of login functions. The login with read permissions that we're going to use, and the login with publish permissions, which you would have to execute if you want to use Facebook with all the publish action permissions. So today we're only going to read some things from the user profile, so we won't need the publish permissions. So we will use the weaker one, fb.login with read permissions. We need to put two arguments in here. First, this is a list of string with the list of permission we're going to ask, and we are just going to need to see the user friends. So we are just going to need the user friends permission. To see the profile picture or the name of the user, you don't need any specific permission. So we don't have to ask another specific permission. And then there is a callback. We're going to call it login callback, a function that will be called when the login is finished. And that's it. We just have now to write the login callback function, which needs to have a login result argument. And in this result, we can see if there has been any error or not. So if result.error is null, then everything went very well. Otherwise, there was a problem. So we're gonna just put some message in the debug console, error during login, and then put the error text to see what was the problem. And if everything went well, for now we're just going to put in the console a debug.log Facebook has logged in. And we can just test that to begin with to see if everything is all right. Just before testing, if we test it right now, nothing is going to happen because we didn't say that when we click on the button, we want the function login to be executed. So we need to just on the on click, we need to go look at the main camera and then the class test, and I can't see the login function because I forgot to make it public. If it isn't public, you can't access it outside the script. Just wait a minute, and then so on the main camera, I should normally see the login function. And now we're going to we are good to test. So let's run everything. We can see in the console that FB has been initialized, everything is okay, and then we have some message from the Facebook SDK, and we're going to try to log in. If you log in the Unity editor, it's going to be very different as when you log in your device. This is just a mock dialog that is really ugly, but on an Android or iOS device, you are going to have the usual Facebook login dialog, so don't worry about it. And you don't need a username or password, you need a user token. To have that, you just click to the find user token. You need to grant permission to the app. This is the equivalent as the dialog box when you usually say I accept that this app can see my profile or whatever. We're just going to copy the user token and paste it here, and then send success, and FB has logged in without any error, so we're good. So now we are going to create the UI interface for when the user has logged in. So I put a new canvas, and we're going to call this logged in UI. And in this logged in UI, we're going to begin with a picture, which is going to be the profile picture. I'm going to put this right on top, and we're going to rename it profile picture. We're going to put a text component, which is going to be the name of our logged in user. We're going to greet him with his name, and we're going to make the text a bit bigger, and by default it's going to be hello question mark, and we're going to center the text like this, and we're going to put a logout button if the user wants to log out of the screen. And now we are gonna go back to our test script. We will need to access both our UIs, so I'm gonna create two public game objects. The first one is gonna be the logged in UI, the second one the not logged in UI. I'm also gonna write a function show UI, which will show the white UI depending on whether we are logged in or not. So we're gonna test if Facebook is logged in or not. If Facebook is logged in, we will show the logged in UI. So logged in UI dot set active dot with true as argument, and then not logged in UI, we're gonna deactivate it like this. And if we are not logged in, we don't show the logged in UI, and we show the not logged in UI. We'll call this show UI function in the awake function. So in the beginning, if we're logged in, the right screen will be showed, and it's going to be the same thing if we're not logged in. And we also have to call the show UI function in our login callback. If we logged in correctly without error, we can show the new UI with the logged in interface. And then if we are logged in, we need to ask to Facebook to send us the first name and the profile picture of our user. So to do that, we are going to need to access the Facebook API. This is done by using the fb.api function like this. We are going to begin with the picture. For the picture, we just need to request. So syntax is me, then slash, then picture. To ask a picture. If you can do just that in your query, but you can also specify if you want the width and the height of the picture. I'm gonna request a picture 100 pixel width and a width of 100 pixel and a height of 100 pixel. Then you need to give as argument a method, an HTTP method. It can either be http.get, http.post, or http.delete. We need to access the profile picture, so it's going to be an http.get method. Obviously, if you want to use the HTTP method.post or the HTTP method.delete, you will need some publish permission and not only the read permissions. And the last argument that we need, because we are in an http.get method, we could have a fourth argument, which would be the data that we want to send. Here we don't want to send any data, we just want to read it, and we only need to put a delegate. So I'm gonna type a picture callback function, which I'm gonna create here. Void picture callback. The argument it's gonna pass is of the type iGraph result. And in this iGraph result, oh, I forgot, yeah. And this iGraph result, the thing that interests us, which is the profile picture, is the texture 2D type object, and we can find it in the field texture of our result. And this image, we will need to create a sprite from this image and put it in our profile picture. I think I called it, yeah, profile picture object in our logged in UI interface. So I'm going to go in the logged in UI interface. I'm going to go in the transform property to find the child that is called profile picture. Just to check, yeah, it's written like this. This child has image component, and in this image component we have a sprite property, and that's where we want to put our new sprite containing this image. So to create this sprite, it's done with the command sprite.create, which takes 3 arguments. The first one is the texture that we want to put in our sprite. The second argument is a rect that will create containing this sprite. So we want the origin of this rect to be in 0, 0, and then we type the width and the height, so 100 and 100, since we requested a profile picture with these dimensions. And the last argument is a vector true, which contains the pivot of our sprite. Since we want our image to be centered, we need to put 0.5, 0.5 here. And that's it. If all went well, we should see our profile picture being loaded when we log in. No, I forgot one little thing. I didn't put the logged in UI and a not logged in UI in the arguments of our scripts in the main camera. So now, when we begin, we only see the login UI, not logged in UI, sorry. I'm going to find an access token here, paste it here. If we do send success, we'll see my profile picture, everything is all right. And we didn't do anything about the name right now, but we can see the profile picture. We're gonna work on the name just now. We also need to access the Facebook API, and this time the query is me, since we want the name of the user, and it's a question mark, and then fields equals first name to get the first name of the user. If you want the full name, you just type fields equal name. It's still an HTTP method .get, and we will have to give a callback, which I'm going to call name callback. And we're going to write this callback here. It also takes an argument of the form igraph result. And to begin with, I'm just going to put the result in the debug.log console, so to see exactly what Facebook is giving us. So let's go. Let's try to run this. We log in with our access token. The profile picture appears, and in the console we can see the results. So the results that Facebook sends are always in the JSON format. Here it's a JSON that represents a dictionary with a first field which name is first name, and then we have the right name. And the second field, we didn't ask for it, but Facebook will show it anyway, is the ID of the user who logged. So in this name callback function, we are going to access the result as a dictionary. It's going to be more precisely an iDictionary with string keys and object values. I'm going to call it like profile. And we can access it with the result dictionary, no, not list dictionary property. And in this profile, it's going to be the field with the key first name that is going to interest us. So we're going to do the same thing as before. In our logged in, we'll find the interface. We'll find the child, which is named the name, I think, just to be sure. Yeah, and then this child has a component which is a text, and in this text object we want the text property to become hello plus our first name that we will find in the field first name of our dictionary profile. Like this. Let's see if everything works as it should. And success, and yes, we got the first name with the picture. Just to finish with all we already created on our logged in interface, we still need to implement the logout function. It needs to be public since we want to access it outside of this script. And to log out is pretty simple. You just have to type fb.logout, and then we will call our show UI function, and it will show the not logged in interface since we won't be logged in anymore. And on the logout button, we have to add this logout function that we can find. It's attached to the object main camera, and then it's a class test and the function logout. And we can test, but it should work. We are logged in, and then when we click on logout, we are not logged anymore. The next thing I wanted to show you is how we can share some things on Facebook and invite friends to play to the game or the app, to use the app. To do that, we are going to create two more buttons in the logged in UI. One button share and one button invite. I'm going to call them share button and invite button. On the share button, the text will be very originally share, and on the invite button, invite. And we're gonna just move a bit this button. I'm gonna put the share button on the left, just below the name of the user, and the invite button at the same height, but on the left. I think we're good. I'm gonna create the two functions to share or invite. Both these functions need to be public, since we want to access them outside the script. So for the share button, we're going to add the main camera, and then in the class test, the function share, and then on the invite button, we're going to do the same thing with the invite function, main camera function invite. We still have to write this function. The function is invite is perhaps the more simple. We need to do an app request. So the list of arguments is pretty impressive, but really we only need two of them. The first one is the message we are going to send, and the second one is the title of the invite box. But we only need those two arguments. You can also implement a callback if you want to see if the invite process has gone smoothly without any error. On our test here, we won't do that. The message should be something like you should really try this game, and the title is the title of the invite box, so it could be something like check this super game, and that's it. When the user click on the invite box, is going to be shown Facebook dialog box with some of his friends that might be interested with this app. You should note that you need to have a Facebook implementation of your app so that the user are correctly redirected when they accept the invitation. Otherwise, it won't properly work. For the share function, it's a bit more complicated, but not so much. No, not an app request. It's share link. Or the feature function, but which is a legacy function. So you should use, according to the documentation, you should only use the share link function as of right now. The share link function takes a bunch of arguments. The first one is it's going to be of the type system.uri, and in it you will just type the web address that you want to share. So usually it can be, for example, the link to your app on the Play Store, or the link to your app on the App Store, or if you implemented your app on Facebook, you can share a link that will launch a Facebook window with the game. For our test, I'm just going to put the website, my website, on it. Then you have got two messages. Oh, forgot to close parentheses. You have the title of this thing that you will see on the wall. So it could be something like this game is awesome, and then a description of the game. Not very inspired, like this. And the last argument, the next to last argument that you can put is an URL, URL of a picture. I'm going to put the logo of no, I think it must be in this folder, something like this. And the last argument, but we won't do that here, is if you want to, you can have a callback of this function if you want to check that everything did go without any error. But that's it. We're just gonna run to see if there are any syntax error, but we can't test. You can't test in the editor the share or invite function. We need to test that on an actual device. And now the last thing that I wanted to show you is how to get the friends of the user, and then populate a scroll list with all the pictures of the friends and their name. First, we're going to see how Facebook gives us the raw result of all the friend of one user. So if we go back to our show UI function, we'll type a new command related to the Facebook API, and this time it's going to be something like me/friends. It's also an HTTP method.get, and we're gonna write a friend callback, in which we are gonna analyze the results that Facebook is giving us, and then we're gonna create a scroll list and populate it with all of our friends. So this friend callback, like the name callback or the picture callback, it's going to pass a result of the type iGraph result. Void. I didn't want it to be. I mean, it can be private, but I wanted to write void. This friend callback, we're going to begin by just seeing what type of result Facebook is giving us. So let's go back into our game. Let's log in. The user token is still good, and we don't have any friends because Facebook won't return the list of all the friends of the user. It's going to return the list of the friends that are connected to the game, that accepted the game on that they are playing it. So if you want to test this function, we will need to go into our portal of Facebook. we will go of the portal in our app, and we need to create test users. So because right now I'm the only one that can test this app, and we will need to create some more. So you go into the menu of roles, into the dashboard of your app, and then you click test users. You don't have any, so you will have to add. We'll make 4 of them. We will authorize them for this app, and then in login permission, we want the user underscore friends permission to go with these test users. I'm gonna create them. I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay, so here we are, Linda, James, Will, and Maria. If you click edit, you can change the name or the password if you want to log in your mobile device as this test user. You can get an access token for this test user. This is to test in the Unity editor the connection, the login like we have done before. You can manage this test user friends, the thing that we are going to do right now to be sure that this first test user is friend with all the other test users. The last thing that you can do is log in as this test user if you want. It's this way you can, if you want to, you can change the profile picture or add some profile info to each of your test users if you want to test that in your app. It's also going to be very useful if you want to see the feature of one test user. If you use the test user account to test our function like we wrote them, the share function or the invite function. So we are going to log in once more, but will be Linda this time. I'm going to get an access token for her. And when we log in as Linda now, the profile picture is going to be the default profile picture of Facebook, and we're going to see a lot more in our data object, which contains the list of all the friends. It's another JSON that Facebook is returning us. So it's at the beginning, we can see on the first line, in the field data, we have a list which is represented by this bracket. This is a list of dictionaries that contains name and ID, name and ID, name and ID. These are fake IDs, obviously, that are related to these test users. So let's go back to our script where we're going to try to deserialize this JSON result. So we are going to take this result and take the I dictionary that we had. It's a string object I dictionary like before when we were analyzing the name in the name callback. So we're going to call it data. And no, we're not going to take the raw result, but result dictionary. In this data dictionary, we saw that the one field that we were interested in was called data. So we're going to take this data key in our data object, and this is a list. So we'll have to convert it into a list of objects. To do that, we're going to cast by putting list object between parentheses like this, and then we're going to call our list of objects something like it's our friends, so let's call it friends. And so in this list we have all these objects that are some dictionaries that represents our friend. And as we saw in the console earlier, there are the names and the ID of our friends in it. So now let's get into that list, and for each object in this list of friends, we're going to cast this object into a dictionary with string keys and object values. I'm going to call it dictio, like dictionary, and like before, to cast it, we just put dictionary string object between parentheses. And now we are going to access the field, so the field name and ID of this dictionary, because as we saw in the console area, each of our friends is a dictionary with a field name and a field ID. So to be sure that we did everything correctly, I'm just going to debug the name to string and then the ID separated by a comma into the debug.log console. And we're going to check that everything is okay. Just to be sure, we are going to log in as Maria once more. No, it's Linda, not Maria. And yeah, everything worked fine. We see the name of our friends and then the ID of these friends. The ID are going to be useful if you want to access the profile picture of these friends, or if you want to access any kind of information related to this friend. But before we do that, we need to create the scroll list that we are going to populate with all this information. So let's go. In our logged in UI, we are going to add a UI panel, which is going to contain our list. So I'm going to rename it list container. It's a bit too big, so we want it to begin just after the invite and share button and to end at the top of the logout button. The login button won't appear since it's not in this user interface. This list container will have to contain an image, which is going to really be our friend list. On this first friend list, we are going to add two components. The first one is a content size filter. We want our image to be on horizontal, the minimum size possible, and on the vertical size, the preferred size. On the vertical aspect is going to be it's going to be pretty big since we are going to have to make space for all of our friends. And the second thing that we have to attach to this image is a vertical layout group. I want the child element to be an upper center. We'll have also to set the anchor preset on upper center, the anchor and the pivot preset. You have to hold shift and then click to preset the pivot. It's just all of this is just to make sure that our list is populated from the top and then to the bottom. So that's pretty much it for now. In our list, we're going to create an empty game object that we're going to call a friend. And then we are going to duplicate to make a lot of friends inside this list. In this friend, we want two things. We want an image, which is going to contain the profile picture of our friend, and another component which is of type UD text, which is going to contain the full name of the friend. I'm going to just put the profile pic a bit on the left, the full name a bit on the right, like this. We're going to make the box a bit bigger for the name in case our friend has a very long name. Increase a little the font size. I'm going to call that name like this. It should be okay. On our friend object, we'll add a new script. What is going on? No, I don't want to create a new script. We had a layout element. We want a prefer height of 100, and because our picture should be 100 width and 100 in height, and that's pretty much it. So the layout element is just here to go with the vertical layout group. If we duplicate our friend, no, not the friend list, our friend, we should see a lot of friends in our friend list. So let's see if our friend list is populated, but I mean it's not good from the top. We had to add a little space in between the friends, and the list container, we have to add two things to the list container: a mask, if you want to mask the part of the list that should not be visible because it's below the panel. Usually I don't like to see the mask graphic. And then the other component that we want to see is a scroll rect, non-horizontal but vertical, and the content should be our friend list like this. And now we should be able to have this is a scroll list, and if I duplicate a lot of these friends, I have a lot of friends, and we're using my finger or the mouse, we can navigate into this list. So everything is working fine. Trying to add, we're going to see if the error is still there after. I'm going to make a prefab out of this friend like this. I had created a prefab earlier, and with the name friend. So we are just going to put our friend object into this, and to access it from our script, I'm going to add here a public game object, which is going to be a friend. And before I forget, we are going to link our friend prefab with this field here, like that. And this friend, we're going to deactivate it so as it doesn't, because we don't want to see it during the execution. So in our friend callback, we are gonna, I'm gonna write a new function which is gonna create an object friend using this prefab. I'm just gonna need the name and the ID of this friend. The name is needed because we are going to put it in the text component, and the ID will be needed to get the profile picture of the friend. And here, instead of calling the debug.log function, I'm going to call the create friend function with the name to string, okay, and then comma, and the second argument, our ID, like this. And in the create friend, we are gonna create a game object, my friend, and we're gonna begin by instantiating the friend prefab. We want to put our friend in the list, so we're gonna call parent the transform that should be the parent of the object my friend. It should be the friend list. So in our logged in UI, we'll have to pass through the list container then to friend list. So it's in our logged in UI, the transform property. We have to find the child that is named list container, and then we have to find the child that is named friend list. Or friends list, I can't remember if I put an S or not. No S. So this is the transform that should be the parent of my friend. So let's go my parent.transform.setParent, and we're going to put our parent object like this. So with these 3 lines of code, we have created a new friend object, and we have put it into the list friend list. And then we just have to be sure that the text of this my friend object is the name of our friend. So we have to get the text component, and we have to use the property get component in children because the text component was in a child of the friend prefab. And the text field should just contain the name, which is the first argument of our function. And then to get the profile picture, we'll have to ask the Facebook API, pretty much like we did here. I'm going to copy and paste this here. The syntax is almost the same, but we don't want the picture of the user, so it shouldn't be me, but the Facebook ID of the user we are trying to reach. So we are just going to put the string ID and then concatenated with the slash picture, and the same a picture that we want the picture to be 100 pixel large and 100 on the height of 100 pixel. We still need to call this with an HTTP method.get, but we won't call the picture callback. I'm going to create the callback right here, so with the delegate. So it's like before in our picture callback, the result is the texture we're going to want is in the texture property of our result, and we are going to create a sprite with it. We should put this sprite into the image component, so it's also in the children. We have to find the image component of the object my friend, and we want to create a sprite, and in this sprite we want the texture that we'll find into result.texture, and then we create a rectangle of 100 pixel per 100 pixel and a pivot of 0.5 like before. And this should do the trick. I mean, we can test this to be sure. And if I log in, I need to copy the access token once more. If we log in, yeah, we got Maria, Will, James. Since neither of these test users put a regular profile picture, we have the default profile picture of Facebook for everyone. But if we took the time to give them each a profile picture, we would see these different profile picture here in the list. And that's pretty much it. We have covered everything that I wanted to show you today. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you liked this tutorial. I've put the whole Unity project on GitHub. You can find the link in the description. And don't hesitate to download one of our apps if you liked this video. Bye!